carry on. Open your heart, set your mind at ease. Live your life and you'll be free. We're gonna rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising, rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising,
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review. My name's Paul, and of course, I am joined by Lady Sam. Billy is MIA. I take it he's fallen asleep again, as Billy normally does, but hopefully wake up and get on the show. But tonight is all about, of course, St. James's Park and what we do as a club, as a fan base. Where do we want to be? What's the ideas? What stadiums have been built recently, new builds, what kind of atmosphere can we hope for, that type of thing. So we want a lot from you guys in the chat as well. What are your thoughts on it, etc., etc., and we'll go from there and see how things work out on the show. But looking forward to it. So if you do enjoy it, as usual, please do give it the thumbs up, and please do subscribe if you're new to the channel. Very close to 33,000 now, so please keep subscribing. If you are new and you like what you see, make sure you hit that bell so you never miss an upload or a live show. You can support the channel in both two ways. One is by the membership, which is the join button just underneath me and Lady Sam. We are giving away 2 books tonight. We are giving away Derek Wright's book, Sam. 2 copies of it. Of course, Derek joined us a couple of weeks ago to promote the book. I've had a good read of it. It's a fantastic book with some great stories in there. So that is available to members tonight. So you must be a member if you want to win. We'll do the draw a bit later on. And obviously, super chats are still available, which is the $sign at the bottom of the live comments, and that will take you through to a payment method, and you get your comment read out, guaranteed. So it's a good way to do it. Paul Taylor has, he sent a few messages in saying, "Behave, Paul." Because Lady Sam's in the house. I'm not. This isn't a rant show. Far from it tonight. This is a discussion with you guys about what we do with St. James's Park as fans. Where do we stand and things like that. I must say though, look who's there. Look who's appeared. Oh, my goodness me. I mean, Trey, this is a habit. This where the hell have you been?
Go to sleep.
Well, yeah. There you go. There you go. Anyway, we're all together. Stato has the week off this week. He will be joining us on Thursday for the match preview, but he's very busy with his job at the minute. So we've given him a little time off with his wife and dog. And hopefully he'll rest and recuperate. Chippers has sent a super chat in. Thank you, mate. For me, it's time for a new stadium with new memories. Most of the so-called big have had new stadiums or expansions to compete. We need the same. We've also got Peter Bjordford, who's been a member for 18 months now. Thank you, Peter, for your support. Good evening, TTR and everyone. And Sean has also been a member for 15 months on the channel. So thank you very much, Sean. There's no comment there, but much appreciated, my man. Just want to point one thing out. These daily news videos, right? Some people are like putting comments in after the show saying, oh, it's a load of tosh, it's a load of tosh, it's bollocks, it's bollocks. I know, all right? And I know that most of the things we read are going to be bollocks, guys, right? That is fact. However, it's called a daily news show because it's me basically telling everybody else what's in the news and the stories that they're kicking around about Newcastle United. I am not for 1 minute saying that they're true. In fact, if you listen to the videos, you'll hear me say, I think it's complete bollocks. Like Eddie Howe to Tottenham, Eddie Howe to Manchester United. You know, all of this garbage. Anthony wanted by Newcastle. I think it's all bullshit, quite honestly. But this is what's in the daily news about Newcastle United. And people don't seem to grasp that it's just what's in the news. It's media. It's not me sitting here preaching about Newcastle United. It's content for you guys. And I'm just giving you the news for you to watch and get your own opinions on. So please just wake up and realize that they are just daily news shows. It's not me sitting here preaching the gospel. I mean, I could if anybody wanted to. I'll sit here with the Bible. But, you know, it's a Newcastle United channel, not a church one. So let's just chill out. Ian Fleming, thank you for being a member for 26 months now. Mod on our channel, of course, Ian, saying hello to everybody. And Dan Robinson, thank you for your super chat. In the know, TTR confirmed Anthony come to Newcastle. Yeah, that's exactly what I did, Dan. I sat here and I said, he is definitely signing for Newcastle. I mean, it's daily news. I mean, what do people want?
You do a concentrated roundup of what is in the press and in the media, and you give an opinion about it. Let's everybody just enjoy it. Take it with a pinch of salt. You give a comment on it. That's it.
I mean, you know, we could be like other YouTube channels and be at each other's throats and stuff like that. I mean, there's a right Barney going on today on social media. It's just ridiculous, man. Nick Thornton, thank you for being a member for 18 months and your support. After seeing what Real Madrid have done, we will either do the same or move into Leazes. Either way, it will be a showcase stadium. Let's get into this, shall we? Because, you know, there's been a lot of talk about St James's Park over the last, God knows, well, ever since the takeover, really. And now, you know, we're expecting a decision in early 2025 about what they're going to do, whether it's going to be, you know, a new stadium or it's going to be an expansion. We spoke briefly about this last week, of course. You know, we were talking about our memories of St James's Park and how difficult it would be. You know, Gazza's weighed in an interview with Gazza. He doesn't want to move. He said it would be stupid to move out of the city centre. But I guess Billy, we just have to look what's best for the club now and not necessarily what's best for the fans.
Yes, I think in the end, one becomes the other one anyway. So, you know, if you can't get into that ground because there isn't enough supply for the demand to be met, then I guess at some point you've got to kind of roll the dice, haven't you? It's where you roll it is my kind of argument.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting because I said in the video earlier on today that I would love to know what the thoughts of a lot of the former players are about moving, you know, and the memories that they have, you know, the legends at the club. I mean, Shearer, Beardsley, and you know, all Shea Given and Warren Barton, and you know, you could list the legends on and on. Andrew Kelly, thank you for your super chat. Well done to the ladies after yesterday's result. Absolutely, 2-1 win at the Stadium of Shite, and it'll be a different presenting team tomorrow night on How Are the Lasses. It will be somebody called Paul, along with Lady Sam. Aaron's unfortunately away. There's no need for that. But I have, you know, Sam kindly asked if I'd step in, and I said, yes, of course I will.
So gracious.
Absolutely, as usual. So
like a ballerina.
Absolutely, Billy. Just sort of spinning in there, whatever you call the ballerina moves.
Pirouette.
Thank you, Billy. So yeah, it will be at 8 o'clock tomorrow night, or are we going at 7, Sam? I don't know.
We can go at 7.
All right, we'll go at 7 because I know Aaron needs to go at 8 o'clock when she's on, but we'll go at 7 tomorrow. So don't miss that. We'll be well. I mean, shall we
buckle up?
Buckle up, yeah.
Buckle up.
If there's any Macams watching, I wouldn't bother. I really wouldn't. You're going to get a hammering. So there you go. Again. Joe Robinson says, I'd love that stadium with the castle turrets flying the Toon flag all around it. Do you know what? I tried to find that today and I couldn't. I'm sure Tom put it in the family group, the Toon Review WhatsApp chat, but I can't find it. Then again, I have changed phones twice over the weekend. So, you know. It's gone missing somewhere. Super chat from Keith Truscott. Thank you, Keith. Sod it. Go big or go home. Let's have a stadium like Atlanta's. That would be a talking point. I've got some, obviously, little photos of renders of what we could do. But there's been a lot of talk about Leazes Park. Sam, of course, Certain YouTube channels have reported that they've got no chance of that. Personally, I don't know how the hell they know that. Given that nobody knows what is being discussed about the new stadium or any plans to buy land, etc. So, it amazes me how these, crystal balls suddenly appear.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny when people are after views and clicks and things, how we can generate all sorts of stuff when they're not in the know. It is a really interesting one. I think the recent appointment that's been made, Roger Thornton, will be very helpful when it comes to the stadium location itself. Remember, this isn't just about the build, what we can expect capacity wise, and how we can do better for fans and other forms of revenue generation. This is about the location as well. We've already said how symbolic St. James's Park is, how central it is for accessibility too. So it's going to be an interesting discussion tonight.
I mean, Billy, if you were sort of on the committee kind of thing, what kind of, and it was to be a new stadium, what kind of stadium would appeal to you? And by that I mean, do you want a bowl type? Do you want a stacked stands? I know we mentioned the wall at Dortmund and things like that, and how that stadium is. I mean, what would your ideal stadium look like?
Yes, I think I'll go for the bowl one personally, but it's all got to be the same level all the way around, which is the difference. St. James Park isn't now. If it was the same level all the way around, same level as L7, I think we'd be okay. I think we'd probably be able to get by with that, but we need to have a stadium that's equilibrium all the way around, and a bowl stadium. I like the look of those more than anything. So that'll be what I'll be after.
Bowls are a little bit strange. I think. You look at bowl stadiums and you think, right? I mean, is Tottenham's a bowl? I don't know. I haven't seen it in the flesh, so I've just seen it on TV. I mean, they seem to stack the stands, but bowls. I mean, there's one here, and I mean, this is obviously just ideas and AI. If you look at the current St. James's, and there's a bowl sort of there, but if you notice inside that stadium, how much space there is on, off the pitch. And I don't want anything like that, quite honestly. I don't want that gap.
Yeah, that's too circular. It's got to be more oval type shape, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And you would take advantage of that space anyway. There's more. There would be more seating. So just because the outside circumference is circular, it doesn't mean that we have to have the seating in that. We could obviously bring it in and have bigger spaces and things, and it would lend itself to that. A more versatile stadium, which is what I particularly want to see. If we're going to go big, if you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly. So let's think about other events that we can have there. It's not just about sport. It could be music events as well. Look at Wembley, like they have the boxing there. That all sorts of different types of events would be held there if we get it right.
I mean, I love some people's AIs of the new stadium, because obviously there's no path to the stadium there. There's no car parks. It's
like a UFO.
It does. It just looks like it's plugged in the
parachute in.
Yeah, exactly.
We could build it out in Saudi and just airlift it.
Absolutely.
Going home.
Absolutely. Helicopter it in with about 40,000 helicopters pulling it along. I mean, I'm not sure how well a stadium like that would hold atmosphere in, to be honest. I genuinely think I'm old school. I just like the terraces and the block seatings and the wall like at Dortmund. I mean, I think the wall at Dortmund is absolutely fantastic. Ian Fleming, thank you for your super chat. Great result for the Lasses yesterday. Don't know what was best, the result or the banter in the tube chat. There's also been banter on... a lot of banter on social media today regarding little different opinions on things. John says, is Lady Sam in charge tomorrow? Lady Sam's in charge whether it doesn't matter what show. That's, she was brought in to keep us on the right track, mainly, apart from when she's had a drink.
Apart from when I'm off track.
That's right. John says, if they want Newcastle to be #1 football team in the world, surely they will want the best stadium in the world.
100%.
Fuggy says, Newcastle Council on Look North on about the cost of maintaining Leaders Park tonight. Are they softening things up for us?
Oh,
I mean, the thing is, Leisure Park, you know, and listen, right? Say from the off, I am not listening to any other YouTube channel telling me that Leisure Park is not going to happen, because nobody knows. Okay, we're talking very much hypothetically on this show tonight about new things and new builds and stuff like that. So, if we were to go down the Leisure Park route, Billy, I guess you'd face a lot of backlash from the how would I put this?
Ecological people.
That's right. But I think that would be the case of anywhere that we look to build. There's always going to be people in favour and not in favour.
Yeah, you can't please everyone all of the time, can you? Would there be a way of kind of swapping over to James Park's base now to be the nature part and putting the ground in Leisure Park? I don't know. I honestly haven't got a clue. But if that could be done, I don't see how anyone could be kind of argumentative against it.
Yeah. Super chat from Kieran. If the Anthony rumours are true, I wouldn't mind him at Newcastle, but only if Eddie Howe can make him better. Silence is golden, ladies and gentlemen. Dan Robinson, thank you for another super chat. The Lasses should play the Mackems men's team. It'll be more fair. Good point. I mean, they were on fire yesterday. Clue says, I would actually like the new stadium in Leisure Park with a mix of old and new. State-of-the-art stadium with the old walkways, stairs, and statues leading to the park and the lake. Oh, don't start on statues. Paul Gallant will be, like, honestly, they'll be next to go on the...
Well, we talked about having music events there, you know, Taylor Swift, Oasis, Paul Gallant.
It has a certain ring to it, doesn't it?
Isn't it?
Anthony says YouTube is more... Sorry?
One kind of ring, unfortunately.
Yes. YouTube is more in the know than actual journalists with actual connections. Well, Anthony, don't... This is what, you know, when people say YouTubers, it ties us all with the same brush, right? If you're going to name people, name them. Don't put all YouTubers in the same boat, because we have said on many occasions that we are never in the know. We have no idea what's going on. We just speculate as much as you guys, and we talk about the speculation. That's all. We don't know anything. Certain people tend to think they know more than others for clicks, basically. But let them get on with it. Another super chat, this time from Rachel. Sent you the Castle Stadium pic, Paul. Okay. Yeah, well, there we go. Oh, hang on a minute.
While you're getting that, quick shout out to Mark Toon 1892. Comments are not guaranteed to be read out. If you remember, laughing face, I'm living proof. There you go. That was worth it, wasn't it?
What was that?
Said comments are not guaranteed to be read. If you remember, I'm living proof. So I just thought I'd read it to be antagonizing.
You never.
Honestly, yeah, I've got it within us. I know.
I mean, look, that's fair enough. I've almost got this. I'm just airdropping it over now because it. You know, when I first saw this, I kind of laughed. But the more I see it, and the more other people have seen it, they're saying, "Yeah, it would be an interesting stadium to have." But I'm not sure I've seen anything quite like this design. It will come in a minute. I mean, it's just running a bit slow on the old airdrop. But I guess it would be. Well, I kind of think of the word. I mean, if it's gonna
laughable,
very much
laughable.
Well, I take it you're not a fan, Sam.
If it's the one I'm thinking, Rach, that you've sent over, it's a hard no from me.
I think Tom meant it as well. I think he spent hours, and I think he seriously thinks this could be the stadium.
Is this Tom's design? Is it?
Yeah, and he's trying to make out it's a joke, but I don't think it is.
Ah. Well, here it is.
Look at that.
Oh.
I mean,
it's a thing of beauty.
You know,
Taliban should play there.
Oh my God!
Doesn't it? It looks evil.
Well, you could put Paul Gallant and his subscribers in one of the turrets, you know, for match day experience.
In the outside.
I mean, there's plenty of people wanting to get in by the looks of things as well. But that looks like, if I'm not mistaken, the lead up to the ground looks like the road up to Buckingham Palace.
Yes, it does a little bit.
But I mean, look, it's very much. I mean, are the stands that big? I mean, how much would that hold, Tom? It's impressive.
It looks like the turnstiles when they open would go.
Yeah, but just think of what you could do around that ground. You could have camel rides for the kids.
But jousting matches.
Jousting.
Jousting, yeah, we could have
With
jousting.
a
Why not?
moat around it. No, thank you.
Well, fair enough. I mean, look, the one thing it's got to be, Sam, is it's got to be right, hasn't it? It's got to be done right and built right, because once it's built, it's built.
Well, listen, for me, I think we need to consider several different factors. I think it would be naive enough of us not to go around and have.
Hello?
Looks like she's froze.
The Ice Queen has finally
this.
frozen. Oh,
She's back.
Wait. Capacity is going to be important as well. Now, I personally think that the recent ballots are going to be a really good barometer for estimating what type of capacity we could look for. The general sale tickets, as well as the Mags memberships that are now on offer, so we could gauge it from there. Because we need the atmosphere. That's so important to us. So we need to understand where we are with that. It needs to be versatile. And let's, remember, our guest Sam, accessibility, car parking facilities, though the disabled access. We need those types of
I think that's very important. And I think that, we've had a few people already in the comments saying, I'm in a wheelchair, I want sort of better access and be closer to the pitch. I mean, so, the wheelchair access at the minute isn't great because you've still got to go through, certainly where I go into the ground, you've got to go through you still got to go through all the fans, and it's not really wheelchair accessible once you get in through the gate. It's a very difficult environment, and especially when there's thousands of people walking around you, it's very difficult for people to see a wheelchair as well when you're squashing past people, and then you just sort of knock into the wheelchair and all sorts. It's difficult, but that's just one of many, many things that they've got to get right. Darren Spark, thank you for your super chat. The Cotton Bowl Stadium, like the one in Dallas with a roof. It's a nice stadium, that. It is a nice stadium. However, this thing about a roof, I mean, if they're going to play a lot of other things there, i.e., I guess they would try and get the NFL in if they had a stadium like Tottenham's, more revenue again into the football club, concerts, more revenue into the football club, all that kind of thing. So other sporting events that would maybe need a roof, I don't know. It would be fascinating to see what they could sort of get in, Bill.
I think a roof would be a fantastic idea. Yeah, I do. I think that would make it state of the art for me. Pull a roof over if it's too cold. If it's freezing cold outside, or it's bucketing down the rain, get the roof shut and job done. Not just when it's excessively torrential rain. Not if it's just spitting, but it kind of stops all kinds of postponements, doesn't it? For me, I think that would be a fantastic idea.
Yeah. What do you think about a roof, Sam?
I like the idea. We can have a retractable roof, the type of money that we're talking, the type of investment that we're talking here. It would serve for the other events that could take place there as well. So I think it would just give us an edge over other venues that could be booked at as well. I mean, you've got the Stadium of Light down the road that obviously do music events, and some of them are absolutely horrendous in the rain, washouts, and it's bad for health and safety. So imagine having a retractable roof. We would be the stadium of choice for these big acts that are traveling around the country. I think an opinion I would like from yourselves, if we manage to get enough land to go with it, what are the potentials that we could add on? Because this now, it's not just about creating an amazing stadium, but what are the add-ons that we could have? So I want to sort of put here, the women, when they get into the Women's Super League, note I said when, they have to play on grass. So we need to consider a new stadium for them anyway. Your training facilities, but look at the likes of Chelsea with their hotels, corporate facilities that we would need. We're going to need like an estate.
Can I just say something on the women? A lot of people have suggested that, or if they move to a new ground, they would give the, St James's Park to the women. That's not going to happen, guys. If we could move to a new ground, St James's Park will be demolished. They won't keep that ground there. It wouldn't do the football club any good. In fact, the women could, in fact, play at the new ground. That is one thing. Man City's the way they've built down at the Etihad, the way they've built onto it. They've built a smaller stadium for the women to play in, but I think they're going to start playing at the Etihad now, like a lot of the WSL teams are. So if Newcastle do make it into the WSL, when I should say, Sam, when they make it there, then obviously they might want to just play from the new stadium as well, like most of the WSL teams are starting to do. Claire doesn't really fancy it with a roof. It's a football stadium. It doesn't need a roof. If it's going to rain, take a cagoule. Yeah, but Claire, I think what you need to realize is it's not just going to, if we move into a new stadium, it's not just going to be for football. There is going to be other events at this stadium which will bring more revenue into the football club. Yes, it will be primarily Newcastle United's football ground, but I think we have to all come to the realization that that's not going to be the only events that take place at that ground. There'll be other sporting events there. There'll be concerts there, all sorts. I do think that maybe, Billy, when they do build a new stadium, Sam mentioned hotels and things like that.
Yeah.
I can see that being part of the ground as well. Like if they're going to do this, they're going to spend money on it, and I think it could be just a huge complex with attached to the football ground.
Yeah, hotels, restaurants, gyms, that kind of thing. All leisure activities all the way around. So it's not just there for football, but it's there all day, every day, every day of the year.
Make it a draw. Make it a draw for
100%.
people.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe makes a good point as well that the Saudis have a big hand in WWE, the likes of the wrestling events, but also the boxing, the Riyadh events that they have.
Yep.
Obviously, they can be overseas as well. So St James's Park would be a natural for them to hold events there, which will draw in massive crowds as well and massive revenue to the football club. So I think, looking at certainly more positives than negatives about a new football ground and what revenue that could bring into the football club, because at the end of the day, that is why we're doing it, is to bring in more revenue, because we know we can fill a bigger stadium. We know other events could take place at the stadium, and it's all about revenue, Sam.
And is that the ace card for us? Because when we're having conversations with the council, I don't know whether it's got to those stages yet, but actually they have a duty of care, because think about the economy boost that'll bring, and actually the jobs that'll bring to the region as well. If we're creating some sort of park, essentially, of all the different things that we could do, the possibilities are endless, but it's creating jobs for the working class people of the Northeast, which is what St James's was actually built on in the first place. It was built for the working class. So, giving something back, and I think the council would find it very difficult to ignore the type of revenue that this could bring in, and the football tourism.
And I guess we've got to say that the hang on a minute, what was that? Stadium sponsorship as well. All of that. I mean, we could be looking at absolute millions of pounds coming into the football club over a season.
Billions.
And then in the summer, more things can happen in the summer than what go on at St James's Park at the minute, which will again bring in a lot more money. Peter McCardle, thank you for your super chat. The Bondi Bot video number 3 is the best design. I haven't seen that, mate, so I can't comment on that, but super chat in from Keith Truscott again. Thanks, Keith. That all sounds great, but where will we play while it's all being built?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? I mean, there is a time issue because, of course, with the Euro 28, St James's Park is one of the grounds for that tournament. Yeah.
I don't think we'll be in a new ground that quickly.
No,
so I think that'll still be fine. But
unless they build it while
we're still at St James's Park.
Yeah.
If we're going to move to a new stadium, I'm sure that's what they will do. They will build, as Tottenham did. Tottenham moved very close to where White Hart Lane used to be. In fact, right on the same ground. And that's what they did. Roadblock, thank you for your super chat. If the Saudis build a new stadium, it will be the best in the world. Who wouldn't want that? This design here that I'm about to put on the screen is that. So that is basically Leazes Park and St James's Park as it is, which is what Spurs did when they built their new stadium. They built the new one while the old one was still in use, and you saw it was, frankly, right next door to each other. That appeals to me. I don't know about you guys, but maybe not the stadium design, but certainly a sort of stadium like that, which is it's just got the stacks of stands, and that for me generates atmosphere, Billy.
Yeah, I mean that I like that. I like that. That's just the Spurs blueprint, and of course, as the stadium gets nearer to completion, then bits of St James Park gets taken down so it fills onto it. Yeah, that's a fantastic idea.
Sam, what do you reckon?
I think a design like that would keep the history. It would keep all the fans happy. It's sort of the best of both worlds where we expand it. And I think we've probably got the space to do it. You know, I deal with the land that's behind it. It's whether the permissions, whether you would get, you know, the green belt is obviously there as well, which needs to be a big consideration for it. I think for me, does this limit that idea of grandeur that I probably have in my head right now? It does slightly. It would really depend on the amount of land that we were able to get, but this would certainly tick the boxes.
The only thing that I wouldn't want is an open air stadium like that. Newcastle isn't built for one of those, especially the winter months up here in the northeast. I think without a roof, people would probably freeze to death. You know, especially if it's snowing or raining. But the principle is there about moving on to Leazes Park, which I don't think I'd mind it. Keith, thank you for your super chat. That's more realistic for me. Claire says part of the atmosphere of being in the city during game days is hearing the crowd when you're doing shopping. Yes,
doesn't make us too much money though.
No, and personally, if I'm in the ground, I don't really think to myself, oh, this noise, people shopping down in Eldon Square will be able to hear this. It never comes into my mind, to be honest, Claire. But I do know what you mean, the noise around Newcastle. But again, if it's just moved to the Leazes area, then you know you'd still get that. Keith says, here's a question: if we do build a new stadium, what do we call it?
It depends where it is, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but it has to be St James's. They can't.
There will be a sponsor's name attached to it, I imagine.
Aramco St James's
Billy
Park.
Tray Coliseum. There we go.
The Billy Tray Coliseum. Yep. The Lady Sam wine glass.
That would be a ball. That would be a ball.
Yeah. Ian Anderson, member for 27 months also. Maud, thank you very much for your support. A 300-foot metal statue of Shearer's goal celebration towering over the stadium. Something that can be seen for miles, like the angel, but better.
That sounds like someone else's idea, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, but he wanted a statue every 10 yards or something, didn't he? All overlooking the stadium. It'd be like something out of Game of Thrones. Yeah. Looney Tunes says, that's insane. Give the stadium to the girls. What idiot thought that? Well, I mean, it's I can see why people are saying it. You know,
it's options. It's options, and the lasses are going to need a stadium which gives grass. We need to be realistic. Like, we've got fantastic support for the lasses now. The fan base is growing all the time.
Yeah.
Would I want St James's Park for the lasses right now? No, because
Matt makes a good point, Sam. No offense, but the women wouldn't sell out the ground at the moment. It will be at least another 5 years for women's football to be closer to the men, in my opinion. And that's not a sexist remark. That is just that is fact. And I think that's what you just said, Sam, before we read that comment out. They couldn't fill it anyway. I have heard some people saying, "Oh, you know, take some of the stands away and just make it a smaller ground." Look, if we're going to move away from St James's, I think that the move will be the full football club. I don't think St James's will be there anymore. And yes, it would be a shame, but at the same time, I think what we've spoke about already in the first half hour of the show sort of tends to us saying that it's more pros than cons to move to a new stadium for the sake of the football club. One issue with no roof: sound systems do not go well with water. Yeah. PAB says Saudis and Seller are big boxing promoters now. Big events will be there. Yeah, world title heavyweight. Well, not just heavyweight, but world title fights. Everything will be at this stadium, and I think,
MMA as well.
It puts us on the map. It puts Newcastle on the map more than what it is at the moment, when you've got all these fantastic sporting events coming. And like I said, it's not necessarily just the season. It's the summer months. The stadium is still being used, and money is coming in. Love the Sir John Hall Sporting Club, Magpies, Falcons, Eagles, and whatever ice hockey was linked with the racecourse. Well, not everybody will share your view of the ice hockey, because Sir John Hall isn't thought of well amongst Durham Wasps supporters, put it that way, because he pinched the team from Durham to eventually play at this whole St. James's Park that he had about building an arena by the side of St. James's and everything. Eventually, ice hockey started in Newcastle, but it died off. And he was sort of blamed for the closure of Durham Ice Rink and the move of the Wasps and everything like that. So there's a long, long story to that, by the way. But that's basically how a lot of people in Durham feel about Sir John Hall and what he did with the Wasps. But that's long gone now. Steve said that I cooked for The Undertaker when they were up here in the 90s. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love that.
Rich says, can we build a stadium that has a bigger capacity than Wembley? I was sure I heard somewhere that it isn't an option. I don't know if that's true or not. I've never seen any official, I've never seen any official thing about it.
No, I've always took it as read that you can, but I'm not certain. Like you say, it's not, to me, it's not official, but it's something that's been banded around for years, hasn't it? So.
Yeah. Ken says, if you consider Stella arrange all the big, I think you mean Stella, in Saudi, they'll probably sell a lot of Stella. So I think that's the company. No, not in Saudi, but when they're over here. Attached hotels are common even down here, says Baz, down in Australia.
Some great stadiums down in Australia. Some great stadiums down in Australia. There is.
Yeah, there is. There is some fantastic cricket grounds. I mean, you look at the SCG, the MCG, fantastic stadiums. Where did Newcastle play in the MCG, didn't it, in the summer?
Did we play at Telstra?
I'm sure it was one of the cricket grounds. Who knows? It was a farce anyway. Rob says, at the end of the day, a ground is just a ground. It's just fans that make the atmosphere. Time to move on and get with the times and move on to bigger and better things. Rise of the Toon Army. How are the lads? The pitch would have to be a certain size for the Euros too. Flat pack stadium on the Town Moor for 2 years. We need to forget this, guys, right? That isn't going to happen.
Play amongst the cows and that, yeah.
We can't just go to IKEA and build a stadium for 2 years. It just will not work.
They did it in Qatar, didn't they, in the World Cup?
Billy.
Slightly different infrastructure there, I would say.
Very different.
Slightly. Yeah, you could adjust it, surely.
Look, I'm not having this building on the Town Moor. Look, if we're going to build on the Town Moor, it would be a new stadium on the Town Moor, not a bloody flat pack stadium where you've got. I mean, how many fans are you going to get into a flat pack? About 10,000. You've got health and safety and all that to go with it. It's just not an option. If they're going to build a new stadium, we stay at St. James's Park while the new one gets built. Jason says 100,000 seat is St. James's Coliseum on Leazes Park, with St. James's Park redesigned as a huge entrance and fan zone.
I mean, that'd work, wouldn't it? If you're allowed to do it.
I mean, that would almost turn it into Las Vegas, Sam. It would be like walking into the Vegas of the North.
Don't tease me with a good time. I love that idea.
I mean, could you imagine that?
Yes.
Like a huge, big sort of fan zone with you've got restaurants, bars, you've got, you could put cinemas in there, you could put, fairground.
MGM Bet sponsored casino area.
I'm not sure that can happen. I don't think there'll be any casinos there.
Oh, yeah. Stay well, lads.
I haven't said that. They do kind of, the stats got a drink in it, so why not?
Well, yeah. They're one of our sponsors.
One of our sponsors, yeah.
Yeah, bet responsibly, everyone.
Indeed. Cynical Jim is in the house. Sorry, I'm 15 minutes behind. I try and build the new stadium in Leazes Park and return the current site back to Parkland to replace what the new stadium takes.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier.
Yeah, good idea. Yvonne says, Paul, I reckon the players would fall in love with that stadium too. Yeah, it's all about making, memories from the old stadium and making memories at the new one. It's all about that. We know what St. James's Park has been to us and what it means to us. That will never be forgotten. And especially in this day and age, everybody's got photos now of St. James's and things like that of what it is now and what it was in the past. When I first went in and the Leazes End was like 7 rows back or something, and it was just, it was a weird ground. It was strange, and the Milburn stand was all wooden. I mean, God help, health and safety these days. If that caught a light, I mean, obviously it happened at Bradford, didn't it? It was horrible what happened there.
But you know what? That was a really good point, actually, because think about the type of caliber of player that we can attract as well with all of the state-of-the-art grounds, the facilities that we can have. It's boasting about what we can actually offer these players now. So I know that we did huge upgrades to the training ground, but actually imagine having it on one complex almost, where it's like it'd just be a shining light for the Northeast, and what a way to attract really top quality.
I mean, there's a name,
talent.
guys, right there. The TTR Arena.
Love that.
Sounds great. Yeah,
doesn't it?
I tell
Let's
you
do
what,
it.
the trolls would love it.
Nick
says the St. James's, like the Principality in Cardiff, are very special because they're both in the city centre. Indeed. Should be a Sir Bobby Robson stand and a King Kev stand. Completely agree with that. Maybe, well, Sir Bobby, definitely. Seattle Jordy says, hi, Paul, do you not take PayPal anymore? It's asking for a credit card. No, you can use your debit card, Seattle, definitely. 100%. Rafi Benisian says, only issue with that design is at some point, part of the old stadium will have to be demolished to build final bit, reducing capacity until new stadium is finished. Well, we could just buy some flat pats from IKEA and build it up just,
You don't get them from IKEA. Qatar did it with the World Cup. They built like 10 of them.
We believe you, Billy.
Billy, why? Billy, you're triggered.
Well, they did.
What does it fucking matter?
I know a lot of people died making them.
Well, let's move on. Yeah,
in those stadiums.
Absolutely. Cynical Jim says, I'd like a copy of the Mercedes Stadium. Nice stadium.
Yes.
Indeed. What about our heritage stones? Would they move with the ground? The ones already there need some touch-ups at the very least. Well, I guess if they came to some agreement about leases, they would, I'm guessing, make some agreements to keep certain things and certain things that are. I mean, I think there's time capsules under St. James's Park as well. I remember Sir John Hall, when the new stadium was going to be built up, they buried time capsules. I'm sure they did, Billy. It was on the news.
Yeah, it sounds. I do remember something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there should be some type of, landmark to if it does get, taken down. How we gonna make sure that it's remembered for all of the great memories that people have there? It could be a visiting site. It could be something for tourists to go and see if it's done properly and elegantly. So yeah, absolutely.
Brian H, thank you for your super chat. Simply with a comment, TTR and a big thumbs up. Thank you very much, Brian. Nick says, if we move into Leazes Park, we have to give the council back the same amount of land we take plus 10%. Right, but who has said that, Nick?
But if that's the case, give them the St. James's Park land and then give them the training ground land. There you go. There's your 10% on top.
Yeah.
And then you have the training kind of facility within the stadium.
Go and buy a few fields somewhere. Just here you go.
Yeah. Scott says, Paul versus Billy at WrestleMania 45 in a steel cage match would be class at the new stadium.
It'd be a big fucking cage to get me in it. I think one of them budgie doors on it.
Welcome to the lion enclosure. Oh, dear me.
I could be like Caesar just doing this. Yes.
Yeah.
Like that.
Kev says it's not the stadium that gets bigger. The whole city expands with what will come with it. There's so many good and positive reasons to move.
Yeah.
Anthony says it quite simply wouldn't be St. James's Park. No history, not the same land, not the same building. St. James's Park would be a little derogatory for me for a new stadium. Yeah, that's a good point. Do we want the same name? Do we not? I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously they'd come up with a lot of different names. I would imagine at some point. But one thing that would be underway, I think, well and truly already, is discussions with the council. So we'll see. Obviously, when they come to announce things, right? Let's take a look at some other renders that I've managed to find. What's this one? This one was from quite a while ago, actually, probably from when the takeover happened. I'm not sure that is an empty stand at the nearest us. I would imagine that would be a stand as well, but the ball is a little bit small for me. I don't quite like that. But you can see the other pitches around it. The training ground on the other side, and maybe the Lasser Stadium on one of those grounds. Any thoughts?
It's very Hackney Marshes to me, I've got to say. There's no...
Well, I think they've gone a little bit exuberant with the extra football pitches.
Yeah.
But I can see what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
If it's the central facility, the central spot around a complex that we've already discussed in the type of facilities that it could have, then something like that would absolutely work. I want something that, when our opposition are driving up to it, they feel intimidated by it. And when fans are coming to it, fans from overseas as well, I want them to think, wow, that's incredible. I think of the tourism for having that type of stadium alone.
Lots of people comparing it in the chat to Wimbledon.
It's not Wimbledon, yeah.
But I see where they're trying to go with it. I think the stadium itself, I'd want a nicer stadium. I think.
In fact, they built that where St James is, all around where St James is now, and it looks like Wimbledon. You could the Strawberry Bowl, couldn't you, or something like that? Like someone said earlier.
Yeah. I love the walkway up to the ground though, with We Are United on the pathway. I think that looks impressive, but obviously there'd have to be other ways out of the ground instead of just one. You couldn't have like 70,000 people coming down that one walkway. There's got to be other exits. Maybe take about, a few of the football pitches away, because we don't need 35 football pitches. But I can see where they're going with that a little bit. We'll see what the comments say about that. Oh, Billy in your bloody Qatar. People are agreeing with you now.
Because it's true.
Well, I know, but Graham says, so flat pack like stack containers, 40k, enough for season ticket holders and away fans. Otherwise, while you try and do your half and half stadium, you reckon they'll finish in pre-season 8 weeks? Think not.
No, it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while to do it.
Well, of course it is. I want somewhere the Champions League music sounds amazing and the fans make an earthquake. Kev says away and home fans mixing together would be a disaster walking down there. Well, yes, it certainly would. A lot of people mentioning the Mercedes Stadium in Atlanta. Yeah, it's a fabulous stadium, that. Incredibly. Let's not even think about ground sharing with our neighbours, Graham. I do not think that would work. Absolutely not. Could you see us sharing with Sunderland, Sam?
I'd rather be sick in my hands and clap, frankly. No.
I mean, listen, could you imagine Newcastle are at home on a Saturday playing in Sunderland? It doesn't. The police.
The police presence.
It would just be. You couldn't do it. You just couldn't. Just no. Anyway, next render. Let's have a look at this one. Now, I think that's on the current site. If I'm not mistaken. No, it's not. Where would that be? I mean, it's down by the river somewhere.
Well, the river comes to an abrupt stop, doesn't it? It must go underneath it, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's. I don't think that's Newcastle, to be honest. I think that's just what the ground, a possible ground, would look like.
But I like the idea. The ground looks all right. Yeah,
that's. Yeah. Sam, what do you reckon of that one?
I think that's probably a bit more like it. I think whatever rendering this is, potential place for it would be Utility Arena, or formerly known.
But that's
Metro
already
Radio
been bought.
Arena.
That's already been bought for housing. It's gone. That land's gone. Yeah.
Oh.
That was bought up a long time ago.
Could buy it back.
Well, I mean, there's that option, yeah. But yeah, I mean, are the stands high enough in that? I mean, is that looking like a capacity of?
That's how far back it goes, isn't it? It's interesting.
Well,
isn't it?
I mean, look, if the Millburn stand and Leazes, I'm talking about if this ground was on the same site as it is now, you're talking about building the East stand and Gallagher up to be the same level, aren't you?
Yeah, which would get you how many? An extra 20,000 tops, I guess.
Well,
would that be enough?
Probably not. I remember this one coming out. Obviously, it's just a mirror image of the Leazes end, but that's sort of the Gallagher built up. But I just think the poor East stand looks so lonely, Sam.
It looks mini, doesn't it? Bless it. I mean, this is obviously having the capacity that we're looking for. It keeps the history. I'm sure it'll keep a lot of the fan base happy as well. But if we're having this once in a lifetime investment, like I said earlier, we just need to just take every opportunity, look for those additional revenue streams. Would we get that from just the build up and a revamp of what we've already got? I don't think we would.
I think the only way that would work is if you turn the pitch, and add the away fans where the East stand is, and then
that's not a bad idea. That Billy, have the East stand for away fans. Yeah, turn the pitch. I mean, that's been mentioned before, hasn't it? Turning the pitch round. Anthony says, "Do we want tiers or flat out stands like we have now?" I think I love going into the ground and going in at the Leazes end and looking up at the Millburn stand. And I just love doing that. And I kind of like sort of imagine to myself what that ground would look like if it was the same all the way around. And that would just be a fantastic stadium if it was all the way around.
I agree.
It'd be an incredible thing to look at.
But that's the problem with the East stand, isn't it? You just can't do it, can you?
No, you can't. This one is probably, I think, located on the current site. But again, I mean,
I can't do it.
It's not big enough. I mean, it looks fantastic, all lit up at the Gallagher end and stuff like that. But again, it's where the current ground is, and it's there's so much to think about there, Billy, in terms of the metro, the access to get to the hospital. Of course, let's not forget that because the ambulances use the route. So it's very important that if it is an expansion, that everything like that is taken into account, because this is what's swaying me to think that they're going to go for a new stadium, is because expansion is just too difficult to work out.
It is, plus you've got obviously the traffic arrangements with the roads going past St James's Park. If you're going to extend it, you'd have to shut them down for a certain amount of time. So there's lots and lots of kind of logistical things I don't think they could probably do if they stay at St James's Park, and added to that East Stand thing that you can't build on it because of the listed buildings behind it. So yeah, to me it seems like it's going to have to move somewhere, whether it moves to far away or not too far away. That's the question for me.
Agent Tech Streams, thank you for your super chat. Seller famous for their displays, need more screens. And another super chat from Roadblock. Thank you, mate. I wonder how many people would rather keep what is basically just a field compared to all the people who would like and benefit from a new complex. Well, I think certainly what we've discussed in this show tonight is definitely more pros than cons of moving. And I'm trying to take away my, I guess, heritage head and memories of the ground in favor of looking at the future of the football club as a fan, for revenue coming in and being able to spend that on players, etc. Having a wonderful state-of-the-art stadium, complexes built onto it, something for obviously the women's team as well. The whole football club based in one place. And I think that's what they'll look for if they do tend to move, Sam.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think we need to take advantage of the opportunity that we've got. We want to be an elite team, and to do that we need to build a squad, and to do that we need revenue. So let's look for these additional streams that we can have on there. There's so many opportunities that we've got. I love the idea of having a roof over a stadium, something which is really spectacular for the fans, atmosphere taken into consideration with some nice nods to our heritage at the same time. There's ways that we can do it really elegantly too. So I think it's important that we do the lot. And like you said, Paul, I would love it if we had the men's and the women's team and the academy team, the youth sides all in one place, because it's all experience. How can we all learn from each other? How can we all like act as one team? We've been so divided for years until the takeover. This could be everything to just cement us all together as one big Newcastle United.
Good point from Yvonne there, saying the PIF will have the best brilliant minds looking at this build, and if they could update St James's, they would. I think, judging from what's come out from Newcastle United regarding this, I think that was I guess the first thing they looked at was expansion rather than a new ground, because I think they realised what the ground was or means to the fans and the city of Newcastle. And the heritage it has and things like that. So I'm pretty sure that that's the first option they would have looked at. But if they're going for a whole new wonderful stadium complex with add-ons like hotels, and which will be possible if they find new land to build on, then I'm swaying that way now. And you have to take off your heavy hard head, if you like, and think of the positives of moving to a new stadium. Yes, it would be difficult at first to get used to. Yes, it would be awful leaving St James's Park. But at the same time, this is the future of Newcastle United, the club we all love. That's what we're talking about more than anything. And that's what's more important more than anything, is the future of the club, the fantastic revenue that could bring in, not just from football, but from other sports. As much as I hate to say it, I'm probably in favour of a new ground now, because even everything we spoke about tonight, it's sort of in favour.
As long as they could, the favourable thing for me was if they could incorporate part of St James's, for instance, switch the Leazes end, turn it around, and then build on that way, go into the park that way. That would work for me.
Toon Stato is in the chat. Of course, like I said, got some family stuff this week. He'll be here on Thursday. But please make sure to like tonight's show if you haven't already. Thanks, matey. Mike says, yes, if we want to compete with the big boys, we have to expand or build a new stadium to compete with them. Mark Slavin says, it ain't happening. Yeah. Look, nobody knows what's been discussed. I'm sorry. As much as they want to say they do, or they know about the land or whatever, nobody knows what has been discussed. All right, nobody's got any idea of the discussions that have taken place. And I'll stand by that comment, because they simply don't. They can have ideas of why we can't or ideas of why we can, but nobody knows the conversation that's taken place. End of.
They'll be NDA'd as well. No one's allowed.
Of course they will.
Huge legal ramifications. So just everything you're hearing, we're sharing our opinions on what we would like, what you would like to see as well, sharing mock-up designs. That's the best we've got to go on, because everybody's NDA'd for this. Nobody knows.
James says, I wouldn't move too far, though. Well, it all depends, James, on what's available. Certainly city centre area, there isn't that much, to be honest. It's, I guess, city centre wise, it's Leazes Park or nothing, isn't it?
It depends on the scale of our ambition. How big do we want to take this? What does this complex look like? Is it a stadium and maybe a small training facility, or is it the works? So it's going to depend on what the ambition is. I think it'll be the works.
I think it'll be the works.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, Billy, do you want to go through some stats just while I run up the draw, please? Stats. I mean, comments, mate.
Stats. Yeah.
So it's going to be approximately X amount of bricks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Stato are loving you, Billy.
I know.
Oh, my God.
25% of the seats will be in one stand, 25 in another.
Oh, wow. Yeah, can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Class.
Right, well, I've done it anyway, Billy, so it doesn't matter.
Great.
I thought you might have.
Yeah. Right, if you want to win one of the Derek Wright books, you have to be a member. If you're not a member, you cannot take part in this draw. This is a members-only draw to say thank you for being a member. So if you are a member, if you're not a member and you go into it, you won't be counted, and the mods will just knock it off anyway. To enter, you have to put in the comments, members only. You have to put in the comments, hashtag Derek, all lowercase, DEREK. Hashtag Derek. Go now. If you remember, get hashtag Derek in the chat if you want to start winning the book. 2 books to give away to our members tonight. So hashtag Derek. Listen, while that's going on, guys, I think the conversation's been very, very good tonight.
Yeah.
And Davey makes a good point. I'm proud of the comments tonight. We would all be gutted about St. James's Park, but the future is the most important thing. And I think, Billy and Sam, that's the way everybody's heading here, is the fact that, you know, it's...
Reluctantly.
Yeah, heavy heart, I guess, is probably the best thing to describe it. Heavy heart, but we can all see what the pros are of moving to a new stadium. I mean, look, it may be that we turn around and the announcement in early 2025 is that we're staying at St. James's and they're going to expand it, and then they give us the plans of what they're going to do. But I think if they're looking at the future and what they can do with a new build compared to what's there at the minute, they can't build all these stuff onto St. James's Park. It's impossible. You know, they can't build the hotels or the training grounds, or, you know, like, they will probably want to, I guess.
Yeah, it's where they do it, isn't it? It's hard to have that kind of arrangement in the city centre. I just don't see the space for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I guess they'll be exploring all of the possibilities, won't they? So it's they've got the right people on board for it. The Rubens are known for that kind of thing, aren't they? So,
well, this new director that they brought in, who's on the thumbnail, he's yeah. And listen, I know Darren Eales is stepping down sadly because of his illness, but he basically did everything in Atlanta, didn't he? He was the main driving force for that stadium. So I'm sure he'll have an input as well. Even though he's stepping down, I'm sure they'll still get advice and input from him about what happened in Atlanta and how it all started, how it got built, and all of that kind of thing. So we've got people now, Sam, at the football club who know exactly what to do when it comes to this.
Yeah, certainly. And I mean, just think about it this way, you know, I think Roger Thornton, I think it is, you know, he's already got a fantastic network in the Northeast anyway, because of his, you know, past business dealings. You know, he's secured funding in the past for St. James's Park. So this is his bread and butter. So he's probably a really great appointment for this time as well. You know, he's done several jobs for the Rubens as well, which is great. You know, as well, let's keep multi-club in our peripheral, because that's where we're eventually going to be heading to. He's going to have that experience to actually take things out further once we've got St. James's under the way. But let's think about it this way. Can we really lose with this investment? We either stay and we get our history and we get an improvement to the ground, or we move towards the future and get a huge expansion. I think either way, we're in a very fortunate position when you see a lot of the clubs around who are struggling in different positions or taking the mick and doing it the wrong way. Yeah.
Mark, I know what Teddy said, but I don't care. Simple as. One more question to you guys while we're doing the draw. I just want to get your opinions on this, because I was nearly sick.
This shirt.
Tell me what you think of that.
Dreadful.
I mean, apparently somebody put in the comments earlier on today that it's a Northumberland tartan.
Yes, I think it might be. Yeah, tweed, isn't it? Is it a tweed? Tartan,
tweed, kind of tweed, yeah. I mean, Sam, is that the first time you've seen this?
You know, you don't have a graphic on the screen, though, yeah?
I do.
Yeah, it's there.
Where?
On StreamYard.
I can't see it.
You're probably still in the War Lasses one, are you?
What? No.
Go back to the main one.
I can't see it, man. Have you got it up on screen for all the viewers? Can everybody see it but me?
Yeah, everyone's
yes, everybody can. You're in the War Lasses studio still.
I'm not. Newcastle United, St. James's Park. What's next?
No. You have to go to the right.
No, but if you go into brand, go to the top. Click brand, and then at the top, what does it say?
I don't know where I'm meant to be looking. Anyway. Oh, that thing! Oh, Christ alive.
Well, if you change that to main, you'll then see it.
Oh, here, man. Right, I see what you're talking about. Well,
Okay.
it's vomit inducing. It's absolutely vomit inducing. It's vile. I can't stand it. I hate everything about it.
It's rank,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's just.
I mean,
It's
there is
vile.
there is another one with the sort of the better sort of black and white, but no, that is
It needs
just
to
a
be
serious.
bold. It needs to be stark. I can't have this faded. It's insignificant. It's insipid. Who's going to be rushing out to buy that? Really? I
Well,
see
not
what you're
me.
trying to do. I'm certainly not going for it. I have everything, absolutely everything from what they've released, and I cannot stand it.
Yeah,
I had a scarf like that with that on, which I think it was called Geordie Tweed.
yeah,
It's rank. though,
Paul's
isn't it?
got a cap like it.
I have, yes.
Black cap.
Niall, I don't have the one with the black and white one. I just said that there is another rendered one, but I still don't like that.
What is interesting, next year, one of our kits will have the trefoil Adidas badge on because we're one of the elite 6 clubs now, aren't we?
Absolutely. Foggy Crack says it's Northumberland Shepherd's Tartan.
There you go.
Absolutely. Gary Hannant, thank you for your super chat. That's very kind, matey. Thank you. To our PIF, they will be discussing, but on the quiet side, so we will only get to know when the time is right, which they have to make the right choices to the people who live there with the building as well. And Peter Merrifield, thank you for your super chat. We need a new stadium for when the club plays in the Champions League. Super chat from David Smith. I was gutted in 1972 when the popular end was demolished. In 78 when they took the roof off the leases, and again when the pylons went. But in 65 years, the only domestic trophy is a Texaco Cup. Move.
There you go. If David can say that, I think we can all say that, can't they? I mean, with the history David's got there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a shame. It is a shame, but time moves on, guys, as it does for everything. Sam's 55 this year, and I know if you don't look it, but time moves on. Look at that little grin. If that was TDR Friday and you had a wine glass next to you, you'd be hollering at me for that comment.
You're absolutely right. Don't worry. I remember
We've
it.
got a show together
now you will.
We've got a show together tomorrow night.
Yes, we have. I'm Aaron tomorrow night, so I need to be sensible. Anyway, let's put up the share screen, and what the hell's that? Yeah, I guess so. There we go. Okay, right. Can people see that?
Indeedy.
They can't on YouTube at the minute. I'm just waiting for it to show up on YouTube, and then we'll. I know it's there, but
Can you see it, Sam?
Yep, there we go. Right, okay. Here we go. Let's do it. And the first winner is Steve Headers. Steve Headers is the winner of the first book. Now, Steve, you have got to get in by the time the music finishes playing. He's got a comment. Come on, Steve. You've got the music finishes. Oh, where is he?
Come on, Steve.
Oh, he's there. Well, bloody hell, I never win out. I'm here. He's there. Well done. Well done, Steve. So basically all you need to do, Steve, is send me an email. In the subject, just put Derek Wright book. And obviously in the rest of the email, put your address. Send that. The email address is in the description. It's simply contact.thetoonreview@gmail.com. That's contact.thetoonreview@gmail.com. But it is in the description as well. So well done, Steve. You are our first winner. And now we will draw again. Here we go. Who is the second winner of the book? I noticed Stato put himself in again. He never wins, does he? Jackie Nicholson is the winner. Jackie Nicholson. So, Jackie, get in the comments before the music finishes.
Come on, War Jackie.
Jackie Nicholson. Let me
Quickly,
know
so
that
we
you
can
know
turn the
you've won.
music off.
Hey, what's wrong with the music? It's a groovy bit of music, this.
Oh,
Designed by Rachel, you were very close, yes, but unfortunately not close enough this time.
What floor do you want, Sam?
It is like a lift music or reception music, isn't it? Oh, it's finished.
Well, there's
Jackie
a delay,
hasn't
isn't there?
commented.
There's a bit of a delay between the end of the thing and give it a second.
Shit, we're going to have to listen to that again.
You shut your pie hole.
Jackie's already commented, apparently.
Has she?
Really?
I haven't seen a comment come in.
Let's have a look.
She's commented. Hang on. Let me go back. Jackie. Oh, I'm here. Yes, Jackie's commented. Well done, Jackie. I'm sorry, probably giving Jackie a heart attack there. She's probably swearing at me now. But Jackie, yes, well done. Send me an email, subject Derek Wright book, and your email. Sorry, your subject in the email, Derek Wright book, and of course in the body of the email, your address. And Jackie is a lad, by the way. Okay, well, either way, well done, Jackie. Contact.thetoonreview@gmail.com. That's contact.thetoonreview@gmail.com. We will have some more giveaways later in the week, possibly on TTR Friday this week for a bit of fun. We will definitely have some more prizes to give away. So well done to those two on winning the Derek Wright books. But we've got some fantastic stuff still to give away. I've got a little box behind me containing some amazing stuff. That money simply can't buy. Hey.
I'll make sure I'm in for that draw.
Oh yeah. Hey, you're shocking, you like
Tickle pink.
Tickle Billy. Anyway, I am ending the show now before those two absolutely go off on a tangent about various toys. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. It's been a brilliant discussion tonight about the new stadium. Very sensible discussion as well. It's been absolutely awesome. So thank you very, very much for watching. Thank you for all your comments. Yeah, obviously your super chats and your memberships, etc. Mods, thank you for doing a brilliant job again tonight. But of course, thank you to my brilliant co-hosts, Billy Bob, and of course, Lady Sam. Me and Lady Sam will be back tomorrow at 7 o'clock with Howie the Lasses. Please join us for that. Give us your support on that show. We want to grow that show more and more as the season goes on. So please drop in at 7 o'clock for that one, where we'll be laughing at the Mackhams after Newcastle ladies' fantastic win at the Stadium of Light yesterday. Keith Lee has been a member for 20 months. I emailed to you guys twice, but no reply from you at all. Keith, go to the new one. Contact.thetoonreview@gmail.com. It's in the description. I'll keep an eye out for it, buddy. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Have a fantastic rest of your Monday evening, and we will see you all again tomorrow. But in the meantime, good night.
Should we stay or should we go now?